right, so we've gone through the entire system now, even post-closing and handling objections. We're still going to go into more objection handling and actually do some presentations so you guys can get the feel of it. We're going to have you guys do your own presentations here later on. But we want to talk a little bit about the importance of getting other customers to do business with. Other than selling, what's the biggest challenge of any business that's out there? Is it just getting new trucks, or what's the most important thing to a new business starting out, or even an old business that's been in business for a long time? What's the most important thing?
Acquiring customers.
Acquiring customers. The most expensive part of any business is not employees. It's not selling. It's not tools or trucks. The most expensive part of any service business is the acquisition of new customers. Can we agree with that? We have heard many of you said here earlier in the seminar that it can cost as much as $400 to $500 to market and sell and get a new customer to call us to make that phone ring one time. So if you were a technician, and let's say that your sales were even average, let's say you were doing only something like $7,000, $7,500 to $10,000 a week, which is kind of an average that most technicians do that are in the decent kind of, I call them, they're still breathing technician, right? The guys who are kind of on life support are probably doing that $2,000, $1,500 a week, or probably shouldn't even be working at a company if you're doing those kind of numbers, right? So if you're doing $10,000 a week, you're in a pretty good stratosphere of decent technicians. $7,500, you're in the mid-range of it. $5,000, you're on the lower end of it, and lower than that, your heart's barely even beating at that point, right? Getting more customers to sell to, once you're able to sell to people, getting more customers to sell to is a very important component of every service business. Now, even if you were doing average, like I said before, and you brought in, let's say, 4 to 5 new customers a week, what value is that to your company at that point? Sure, it costs $400 to $500 to bring a customer in, but how much is that customer worth over the lifetime of a company? Anybody know what that kind of figure is? What's the lifetime value of a customer?
30 to 40,000.
What'd you say?
30 to 40,000.
Yeah, it's been studied over a period of time. The minimum is about $30,000 over a lifetime period of this customer. You're bringing in about $30,000 to $40,000 to this company over a lifetime period of this customer. So if you were to bring in 5 customers in a week, how much money are you bringing into this company potentially over a period of years? Minimum $150,000, maybe even $200,000. Is that a valuable thing that your company would look at you with some value? Well, I mean, even if you didn't sell anything, but you brought in 5 customers a week, we have to consider it to be a success because you spent more than a couple $1,000s on marketing that didn't work before. We've all spent hundreds of thousands of dollars probably on phone book ads and TV, cable advertising, and you name it, direct mailers that never worked, that we spend tons of money on before it hasn't worked. So if we had somebody predictably who could bring in, 2 to 5 to 7 people any given week, is there a value to that goes beyond what revenue they're bringing in too? You know what? It's almost impossible to let that guy sit home when we're slow. That's why I look at it. I think that when somebody can bring in those kind of customers, you're bringing a value to my company. That means 2 things. You bring in customers, it means that, one, you believe in the company, because you wouldn't be bringing in customers to me if you didn't believe in the company. 2, it means that you're honest and that you're not out there competing with me by doing side jobs yourself. Otherwise, you'd be doing those jobs yourself if you were doing side jobs. So it proves 2 things. 1, you're not side jobbing and you're not competing with my company. 2, furthermore, you believe in us. You believe in what you're doing here, and you're on board 100%. Nothing makes a statement more, not you selling anything, not you doing the work, nothing, than bringing a referral in shows that you are part of the team more than doing that. Can we agree on that? Owners of the company, what do you feel about that?
Absolutely.
Somebody brings in those customers, it's like that is a true belief in your company. That guy is on board. He's drinking the Kool-Aid. He's 100% on board. And that's the kind of person you can't lose. That's the kind of person you can't afford to let that kind of person go, because so few people are that on board, they bring in new customers. So how open are you to getting new business? That's the question. One of the things that getting more customers are important. Is waiting for work or waiting for things to happen the mark of a successful person?
No.
We can wait for customers to ask us if we need business. And then here's the funny part. When a customer finally does ask us if we are busy, what do we usually tell them? Well, let's ask you guys. Let's do the referral IQ test. You ready? don't worry, you're probably going to fail it. Now, those of you guys who probably know the test, try and bite your tongue and hold off if you know the test rate. Tell me you're going to go ahead and pass if you know what the answer to the test is, because I don't want you to blow up for the guys who don't know the test. So let's start with the guys who probably don't know the test first. We're going to do the referral IQ test. Here we go. You ready, Mike?
Sure.
Get the microphone. Let's give this a try. Hey, Mike, how's business?
It's going good.
Okay, good for you. Quentin, how's business going for you?
It's great. We're swamped.
Oh, good. usually that's what most contractors say. He's being honest. Are you kidding? We're swamped, Joe. We are so busy. We're up to our eyeballs in alligators, for God's sake. I've been working 12 hours a day. I never get a day off anymore. You're saying you're so darn busy, right? Go ahead, Tom. How's business?
Unbelievable.
It's great, isn't it? It's unbelievable. David, how's business?
I'm gonna pass.
You're gonna pass? Dustin, you gonna pass too? He's gonna pass. He knows what to say. He's not gonna. He doesn't want to show everybody up. That's very kind to you guys. You don't want to make everybody to show you know the answer to it. Well, the truth is that there's one reason why the customers don't give us more, because you don't want to see if this guy's too busy and you could barely make it out to your house. Let's say you set an appointment from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock, and now you show up at 2. Now you put up with it. You're not even mad about it, but you're already 2 hours late past the time frame, right? Now I ask you how business is. You say we're swamped. Am I likely to turn over more customers to you when you could barely make it to my house on time? And also, you said yourself you're already so swamped you can't even take more customers? No. The number one reason why people don't give you other customers is because they think you're too busy and they don't want to not be serviced themselves because you're already too busy. So John had it almost close. He was right there. I give him a C on the referral IQ test. He did pretty good. Some of you guys flunked. I'm not going to say who did, what scores everybody got. But when is the best time to get referrals? You know what? It's always time to get referrals. There's never a situation where getting other customers to do business with us is a bad time. Matter of fact, many times in the middle of the call or even before you close the call, you could get referrals when people will just offer them up to you. One of the most poignant moments that occur is when a customer asks you, how's business? Is that something that happens to you guys a lot? How's business over at Johnson? How's business? How are you doing over there? You guys busy? That kind of thing, right? So you guys busy? So the answer to that question, it's kind of like what John did, but he didn't pull all the way through. He had it about halfway through the loop, but then he dropped the ball and he fumbled at the 1 yard line. John, you want to try it again? You know what to say on that one?
Wing it.
You want to wing it? Well, don't wing it. You ask me how's business, and we'll try it that way.
Very good. Joe, how's business?
Well, John, business is okay. But I'll tell you one thing. We were just at the shop talking, me and the other guys, about how the biggest challenge we have is finding more great customers like you. People who understand service like you do. It's hard to find people like you. Hey, John, let me ask you a question. If you were me, what would you do to find more customers like you?
I would, well, hang on. I have a couple people over here that need some work done.
You do?
Yeah.
What do they need?
Ceiling fans, panel upgrades.
Who are you talking about?
Sally, right down the street.
What does she need?
Oh, she's got a ton of work, Joe.
Well, you'd never introduce me to her, would you?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Let me go get her number, Joe.
All right, what should we do?
I'm going to get her number, Joe.
Oh, let's go get her number.
Yeah.
I'll wait for you.
Okay.
That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like to get referrals. Just say, okay, give me some advice. If you were me, what would you do to get more people like you to call? So I always say, our biggest challenge, we're doing okay, but our biggest challenge is finding people like you to do business with. People who understand good service like you. It's hard to find good customers like you. What am I doing with that customer too? Let's say we're in the middle of the call. Am I making him feel good about himself right now? Is that a good sign for the end of the call to make somebody feel good about themselves? Could this even possibly help me close the deal if I don't get a referral even right now? So when people say, how's business, it's always a good sign to say, hey, you know what, business is okay, but we could always use more customers, especially like you, people who understand good service, people who are easy to deal with, and people who understand you get what you pay for and that type of stuff. Hey, John, what would you do? If you were me, you're a smart guy, especially people who run a business. Like if they run some kind of business from home or they run a different kind of business, say, hey, you're a smart woman. Jane, you run the ladies' aid down at the church. If you were me, what would you do to get more customers like you have come to the chicken dinner? You said you had so many people come to the chicken dinner. What would you do to have more customers like that come to our shop, do business with us? How would you do it? And she would say, well, I could put you into our flyer for the chicken dinner. I could, we have a thing we send out to the church. You can go in the church bulletin or something like that. I can get you in that really easy. We always mention it certain local businesses like once a month. If you want us to go ahead and put you in there, I'd be happy to do that. Would that be okay to do that? Could that be a minimal thing to get out of the thing? I'll tell you what, guys. I was in our company here right here in this area. We did a lot of business, and we probably had a market share. For this area, probably about a 22-23% market share, which is big. That's a big number. There's never been a company been over 30-35% with a service business. We had a lot of people in the in that Grays Lake area who used our company, but our Yellow Page ad was only about $1,500. We had just a small little square with my picture in it and said Home Comfort Heating and Cooling with our phone number. Referrals were our #1 source of revenue. That's how we got people to call us. Our word of mouth was huge because I told my people, the first $50 that you bring in, that's yours. I mean, you bring a new customer in that was never on our database before, that's worth $50 to me. I'll pay the $50, boom, just like that. You get a check for a $50 referral every single time you bring that customer in. Sure, I could wait to pay $400 and test out an ad and see if it works, or I could just pay you $50 to bring a new customer into me every single day. There are some guys. There's a guy who worked for me who averaged 7 people a week he brought in. So throughout the week, he started out every single week with $350 before he even began working. There's many times he brought customers in while he was sitting home. We didn't have any work to do. He called us some friends and family, and next thing you know, we're doing work for them, and he made $400 just in the referral part of it. And then he made his overtime and things like that because he got so busy during that week when we were slow. He wound up making $1,600 in those weeks. It's crazy. I tell you what, you can sit around and wait for things to happen, but the house business referral is very important. When people ask you that magic question, let's go ahead and try it. Ready, you guys? Anybody ready to try it now? What is it? It's just like, you know what? We're doing okay, but the biggest problem we have is finding more people like you. Hey, if you were me, what would you do to find more customers like you? Let's give it a try. Go ahead. Quentin, go ahead. Hey, so how's business going, Quentin?
Oh, business is okay, but you know, Joe, one of the hardest things we have a problem with is finding more good customers like you. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
If you were me, what would you do to find more customers such as yourself?
Well, I mean, there is my grandfather who needs air conditioning tune-up. Do you guys do that kind of stuff?
Sure.
Would you mind stopping over there right now and talking to him about it?
You would do that?
Yeah, let's go walk over. Just right next door.
Sure. Thank you.
Have you guys ever been dragged? Thank you very much, Quentin. Give him a big hand. Very nice. You did a nice job there. Have you guys ever been dragged next door to the neighbor's house? Right there, that's probably could be $150,000. You don't realize that guy going over there to the neighbor who never used this before. It sounds like a small little call we're doing right now. Over the lifetime period of that customer, it's $30,000. It could be. Could be a big amount we're going to get from this customer over a period of time. Have you guys seen bigger jobs sold like that before off of a small thing that starts out? All the time. You want to bring value to your company, you want to have a job for life, bring in new customers, and don't flunk the business referral IQ test.